Boy, is it getting real. Lots of reports. IRS is on the move. Remember those 80,000 people? Already knocking on doors. Reports on what's happening in the Pacific Ocean. And people are reporting why all the emergency alerts. What is Tyson Food doing to the meat? Certain places already rolling out lab-made meat. McDonald's using bleached chicken? What? I'm telling you, it's getting nutty. Lori K reading 7 million already crossing the border. And how about this? Carlos, as a Mexican who migrated here legally and lives kind of close to the border, all I can say is prep and have your tools ready. The reports are getting heavy. More information you guys should know coming right up. If you guys are brand new here, welcome to our awesome community where we do prepping tips, emergency preparedness, and we give you awareness, news type stuff that could affect you. If you happen to find value in that, be sure to hit the notification bell so you guys can stay up to date. Let's jump into this one. I'm telling you, I told you guys to let me know what was going on in that last video. This one right here, good video. I've got papers and papers full of great stuff. I won't even be able to get through it all. But I'm gonna give you some highlights that I found important enough to share. Tell me what you guys think about this one. Lisa writes in, absolutely, AI should be eliminated. But more pressing, this month on the 24th, the WHO will control the US through the WHO treaty that overrides our Constitution, Bill of Rights and freedoms, our medical care, our 1A and 2A. Biden signed us into it. No one is talking about it. On the 24th, huh? That's coming up real quick. Let me know down in the comments if you think Lisa is right on this one and what you guys think is going to happen on the 24th. And regarding the IRS, wanting to know everything about your house when they already should know. What's going on there? Kathy replies to that and said, I would say if the IRS is asking about your living condition and size of rooms, I would say it would be to take in the homeless or illegal aliens. The US has been talking about this. And she might be onto something there. I watched some videos this morning of immigrants completely taking over ritzy hotels. Private reporters tried entering the building. They were told it was private property to get out. Don't like the sounds of that. And we've been talking about that meat and those bad meat companies out there. Joe Mama writes, I worked at a meat packing plant in Warren County, Ohio for 3 days. They packed for Kroger. It was bad. I was one of 2 English speaking in my department. I speak some French and some Spanish, but I was bullied and pushed out. There are people there that look like very, very young adults. I don't have proof. They could be young looking or underfed adults working long hours and around dangerous equipment. And that's just part of it. And this is regarding that meat video right up here. If you guys missed that, must see video. I'll leave it up at the end and in the description. Here's a good one. Has the US Census been bugging any of you? Billy writes in, I don't know, but I'm getting the US Census. They randomly pulled me and they want to know every personal thing they could think of on me. If I don't comply and I don't fill out, they threaten me. So I filled out, well, guess what? Got an even bigger one. So why am I being targeted? And that's what it is. They're targeting. I'm so glad I'm saved. There's something going on around the Columbia River. Phil writes in, something big is going on, friend. I live a few miles from the Columbia River in Oregon. And man, there has been at least 3 trains a week for the past 2 weeks loaded with military equipment. And Phil is not the only person that says that he's seeing a lot of military equipment on the move. Let me know where you guys are seeing it down in the comments. NB writes in, Singapore recently started selling their lab-made meats. Check it out. And you guys are probably thinking, what? It's gonna happen. Why do you think all of our beef's disappearing? And to go along with that beef one, I got one back here. Check this out. And I've read this other places too. Roger writes in, did you all know that I heard a cattle rancher in Texas said that the meat is being shipped to China, then it's being shipped back to America to your local grocery store. I couldn't believe what I just heard. And I went over those graphs with you guys talking about meat coming from China. It gets real gray and fuzzy trying to figure out how all that meat's coming from China. Well, this might be part of the reason. I told you in this video and I'm telling you again, they're putting it in the meat. Even Rick writes in, local friends have become sick after consuming beef and chicken recently. They think that it's due to the excess steroids. I've read they are pumping into chicken full of steroids due to the shortages, makes these chickens grow bigger and faster. And that's definitely a good theory. And there's a lot of other things that could be being pumped in. Gene writes in, 18,000 dairy cows in an explosion at a dairy farm. Apparently, there was a glitch in the machinery. There are a lot of mishaps now. That is involving meat plants, food plants, East Palestine, 90% of the family farms, etc. Wonder how many mishaps happen to companies like Smithfield or other meat companies owned by China, and that's owned by China in America. What percentage of food produced in America feeds China? Good question. Seems like a lot of monopolies are in the process of being created. Who profits? Who controls? You guys let me know. Lots of good questions right there. And a public warning from Fran in Kentucky just received a letter from the water company saying halocetic acid contaminants are too high and hope to have it fixed in the next 12 months. Same warning about infants and elderly and immune compromised. 12 months. That's a year. It's going to take them a year to figure this out while everyone's drinking the water. And I thought this one was interesting. Jennifer writes in, says, fruit beginning with the number 4 means it's genetically engineered. Now, I haven't heard anything about that. You guys let me know if you know something about that one, because if so, keep that one on your radar. You guys have all heard of McDonald's, right? Garland writes in, says, McDonald's is using bleached chicken now. That doesn't sound good to me at all. Definitely glad that I do not go to McDonald's. Bleached chicken? Oh, thank you. And how about this one? You kind of wonder sometimes why America has an obesity problem. Marcus writes in, I never bought into this until I lived overseas in Indonesia. In 2 years, I dropped around 70 pounds. Didn't have joint pain, and could run again. I returned to Minnesota weighing 175 pounds. In 1 week after returning, I put on nearly 20 pounds. I still cooked the same as Indonesian-styled food, still ate the same sized portions, and still walked everywhere. As far as I could tell, I didn't change my habits but put on weight. After a couple years, I once again have joint pain, stomach feels gross after eating, and low energy when added with exercise. I blame it on our food. And Marcus is definitely on to something right there. I've been saying it this whole time. Our food ain't like it used to be. And there's a lot of stuff in there that most people probably shouldn't be eating. You guys need to be reading labels and get educated. Otherwise, like a lot of folks out there, just gonna be circling the drain a little bit quicker than most. And I know that you guys have been hearing about emergency alert broadcasts. A lot of schools are even doing emergency drills out of nowhere. Dia writes in Alberta, Canada, we had an emergency alert for 1 hour. I never had that before. It went off so many times. Like I said, people keep reporting about all of these emergency alerts. It's on an uptick for sure. And for those of you worried about what's going on the San Andreas fault line and the Pacific Ocean, Billy writes in, very interesting video. Yes, there's a lot of things going on in the Pacific Ocean. Anybody on the West Coast, get out. You need to get out. You need to leave or make sure you're safe. One of the other Yellowstone cracked open, and an hour ago, some more of the San Andreas fault line that's cracking open too. There's a hole in the bottom of the Pacific Ocean floor. It's spewing out lubricant for the tectonic plates, and they've been watching that new volcano underwater. I guess it went off in 2015. It seems like yesterday, but they're watching it and they're very concerned. Something bad's about to happen, and there's a lot to dig up out there on this. A lot of tectonic plate movement. These fault lines are continuously being more and more active. Is that the way things are going to go down? I'm not sure. Lots of things happening right now. It's hard to put your finger on a specific thing because there's so many different things that is going wrong. I've got another 100 comments that I'd love to read, but I know you guys like a little bit shorter videos. Please share this stuff out because this is the type of news that doesn't get shared. Hit the like button if you found this valuable. Let me know in the comments if you like hearing this stuff from the community. And most definitely, let me know some more good info. I love reading through the comments. Got a lot more good stuff coming up. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing. We'll see you guys on the next one.